Welcome to Pi Radio. I'm Solomon, and I'm sat here today with Superlative. Did I say that right?
You did, yeah.
Yeah,
I'm glad you
don't.
asked, man. I'm glad you asked.
Yeah, and we're just gonna just talk about music, the business side of music. Today it's been on the DJ AG live, and obviously we posted the content, and it's had great feedback from that. And we just wanted to explore a little bit more about the clip that's semi. I don't know if it's viral, but it's doing
Yeah,
the
it's doing
rounds. It's
well.
doing the
Yeah.
rounds in Manchester basically. So I want to try and educate people a little bit more about that topic. So yeah, let's get into it. I just want to start off by saying thank you for joining me today.
Big up.
Obviously, for people who don't know who you are, could you
Mhm.
give us a little intro into who you are and what you do, please?
Yeah, I'm Superlative. I'm a rapper, producer. I have been doing some public speaking recently, and I'm kind of
Okay,
getting into that. I'm enjoying it. Yeah, I'm based in Cheshire at the minute, but I'm a Manchester artist, man.
okay, dope. How long have you been making music for?
So I've been making music from time. I'm not going to tell my history of, oh, my mum grew up and this and whatever, but I've been making music for a long time, but I've been taking it serious, I'd say, since like 2017, 18.
Okay, so that's about give or take 6, 7 years or something
Hmm.
like that.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, dope, dope, dope. So obviously, what has brought us here today is over the weekend you were on DJ AG's live. It's
Hmm.
2 hour takeover in Manchester with Boohoo, and you've obviously gone there to showcase your talent. We were there to film it, and he asked you some questions. We posted the content online,
Hmm.
and people have been really supportive of that content, asking questions, showing it love and everything. For people that have not seen the content, could you sort of paraphrase the question, just explain what the question he asked you was, please?
Yeah, so I'll give it a tiny bit of context.
Mm,
I started off, obviously I queued up like everyone else, got our raffle tickets and whatever, and as I came onto the mic, I had this my single "The Wave" that I performed. It's funny how everything works out. I'll get into it a bit more later, but the single "The Wave" that I performed, it's just reached 400k
nice.
streams on Spotify. So it's in the back of my head already because I need to do a video about it. So when I got on the mic, the first thing I said was, "Oh yeah, this is The Wave. It's
Mm,
got 400k streams," and that must have resonated with him. So once I've done the performance, AG asked me how with a well, basically what following have I got? I told him
mm,
I've got like 1,500 on TikTok and that kind of
yeah.
thing. And he was like, so with a following of your size, how have you amassed
Mm,
400k like streams basically, because it's not really heard of as such.
mm.
So I just told him it was sync licensing, and the rest was kind of history from there, really.
History, yeah.
Hmm.
I mean, like, I was quite fascinated by that question as well. And I'm really happy that he asked the question because sometimes people like maybe when you're still on the come up with small following, they think it's impossible to get, to get those kind of streams, or they're not
Hmm.
really sure of the other side of understand like making music or getting the music out there. So and that's what we're here today, really. Like I said
Hmm.
previously, we posted the content online and it's kind of semi-viral around Manchester, or people online, people are
Hmm.
commenting great stuff, wanting to know a lot more about what is sync licensing,
Yeah.
how did they get into it, how can they get their music out there. So yeah, so could you sort of explain what sync licensing is, like what's the process, and how for someone that knows nothing about it, how did they kind of get their music
Yeah.
into that position, basically? Yeah.
Okay, so I'd say realistically, plain and simple, sync is just it's short for synchronization. That's just music for a moving image, whether that's like an advert or something like Power or just any TV, any film, and that's the basis of what it is. You can even put it in games and stuff like that, as I've come to realize. Um, and there's no one size fits all, is what I will say for sync. But there is some processes that I think you can take to kind of increase your chances of maybe getting into the sync world.
Okay.
So I've got some notes on my phone just so I can
Mm,
make sure that I give people the right information and
sure,
make sure that
sure.
you know what I mean, just so it's condensed.
Mm,
So it depends what you want me to talk about first in regards to sync,
okay.
really.
I mean, like maybe like tell us like your how did you get your obviously you said previously you've had the song out for 2 years,
Yeah.
so how did you get your song into being used by JD and all
Hmm.
the people that you mentioned
Yeah.
that you spoke about? Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, so I use a platform called Artlist. That's one of the platforms I use. It's a
Mm,
non-exclusive license platform, meaning that I it's not exclusive. It's basically so I can then send that to other sync catalogs as well that offer the same kind of payout structure and that sort of thing. And basically, all you have to do, or what I did is I submitted my music to Artlist when they were doing a call out. They were still in their early phase, so I think it was a bit easier to get into. And then from there, you're in that catalog, so people are able to download your song and use it as and when, and you give them a non-exclusive license. So obviously, say freelance editors, you might be editing a video for something massive, but you're the person that's editing it, so you might find that on Artlist, let's say,
Right.
you find my song, it was an editor's pick, so when you go on Artlist, it was like one of the top tunes to listen to, and you use that in your song. Then you use the song in your video then,
right.
and then that's it. I get paid for it. You don't always get tagged, but that's why Shazam exists, and that's why then in turn the song is actually done better, because people are like, what's that song that I've heard on? It was big on an esports league. So every time there was this esports league, every single day the song is being played like 15 times a day. And I might only get paid for that once, but then the streams, the people are listening to it and they're commenting on the video, I've just heard this on such and such a game, and I've heard this on such and such a game. So that's kind of how I got into it as an early thing, realistically.
Right. Okay. Wow. That's so it's like a free website. You just take you've made this song. So is that the only song you've got on the platform, or you've got other songs on there?
No, I've got maybe 15 to 20 songs on there now.
So basically all your catalog, you just uploaded your stuff onto that platform. It's just on there. And somehow whoever the editor is, they think actually this song is quite good, and they've kind of like rated it quite high on the list and whatnot. And then whoever was working on the video for JD's come along, they've also, let me go through like the editor's picks or whatnot. They like the song, they added it to their stuff, and then people just sort of like listening to it on the random, they just Shazam, and then they go and follow your Spotify page and just stream the music. All right.
And that's just one avenue in the sense of that's just Artlist.
Right.
Now, there's loads. So when I was at uni, I just graduated last year.
Congratulations.
Thank you. We got a first. I'll put that in there. That's for you, Mum. But when I graduated from uni, I did like one of my final assessments I chose to do about sync licensing.
Right.
And while I was there, I found this. So this is what I want to tell people to go and search. And the reason I'm telling you this is because, like I said, there's loads of sync licensing platforms out there, sync catalogs, but not all of them are taking artists in.
Right.
So Artlist, who I use now, I tell my friends about it all the time. Get on Artlist. And they're like, oh no, I'll see how you do. And then if it does well, I'll do it. And now they're not taking artists.
They didn't believe it.
So it's like, yo, do you get what I mean? So, but what I will say is, and maybe I can send it to you just to put in the caption or whatever. But if you go to Google and type in Millennial Mind, the top 46, so 46 sync licensing music libraries 2024.
Right.
If you type that in, there's a list of like so many sync catalogs you can go and just submit your music to.
Right.
Now, not everyone is going to be a hit. You're not like, there's a lot of them where they've said to me, no, your music isn't right for this. But if they do take it, then you're in then. And then you can start pitching stuff to them more and more and more. Right. And as long as you're checking the contracts, make sure you just read the contract. It's non-exclusive, so more time you can use it in other places. But my top 4 that I've took out of that 46 list is Marmoset, Jamendo, Artlist, and Audio Socket for the non-exclusive.
Right. Okay. Ones. I mean, I've heard of Centric before. Is that something you've tried before? Is that an exclusive?
I think Centric might offer both.
Yeah.
It's not a platform that I have used. I know some people do use Centric, and they use Centric for distribution as well. I believe Centric's more of an established publishing company as well. So they will find you sync. I just don't know. I couldn't comment on what their deals are.
Like they might not maybe up and coming as much. So obviously, like for up and coming, just basically use that, search those things that you mentioned before. Okay, cool. So I mean, so that's your route into it. What, obviously, when you upload your music, does it have to be like in a specific format, or does it need to be a certain genre of music, or like what's the process of? Because somebody might be like, I'm a grime MC, I'm a but like, who's looking for my music kind of thing. So could you just kind of just explain a little bit about that? Yeah.
So what I did was, in order to get onto Artlist, I acted as if I was an editor first. So I went, there's two ways, because me and you can just log on to Artlist and pay £9, and then it's kind of like Spotify. You've got all the access to this big catalog you can now use in your videos.
Right.
So I went on there and saw like what was doing well, what what kind of stuff they accept, and they accept a lot of different music, usually with vocals on.
Right.
But what I will say is each platform has a different submission way of submitting your music. So with Artlist, let's say you send them your music first, then they tell you if they would even consider it to go to the next stage. So
Right.
as long as you've got it in a link that they can view it on, don't have it on a private Google Drive, or don't have it on like even a SoundCloud. I can't even remember if they accept SoundCloud, but just have it where they can listen to it.
Right.
But more time, what I will say is, if you do get accepted, they usually ask it to be quite high quality, so 24-bit, 48K, and then also an instrumental version if possible. If you can get the stems, that's even better. I don't usually send them the stems just because I've got trust issues in it. So, but I'll give them everything I've got. So you want the instrumental, and that's like a complete instrumental version. No little backing vocals or nothing there. Then you've got the PA version. Sometimes they want that. Then they might want a clean version and also an explicit version. Just give them as many. Just increase your chances of that song being used, because if it does go on a big advert, like I got used in an O2 advert, and if it goes on there, they're not going to want the tune that's swearing on it. So they can switch between the clean one and the instrumental, and just increase your chances.
So what I take from that is there's a bit of a quality control from the platform. It's not just a case of, I've made a tune, I'm just going to send it in and it's going to get selected or whatnot. You've actually got go through a process. So that means the song's got to be mixed and mastered. And like you say, you've got to have almost like 4 or 5 versions, of the song, a clean version, instrumental, a performance one. Was the other one a original one, like with the swearing or whatever that on there? What other format did you say? So basically you basically need like 4 versions of the
more the better, really.
The more better. Okay. So obviously that the instrumental, that means do you own the instrumental, or do you just download it off YouTube? And then, because obviously that can get a bit,
I'm so happy you asked it. I was supposed to put this on my notes. Make sure you own the music that you're uploading, because there will be a time, and there's also, you have to agree as per contract that you own the rights to this music. So I'm currently going through something. I'm not going to go too deep into it, but music that I produced and performed on was uploaded to some of these platforms, and I didn't okay that music. And this is going everywhere, and it's on adverts, and I'm not making any money from it. And it's like, from the point that you signed the contract, you agreed that you owned this music.
The full copyright.
So, and because I produce a lot of my own tunes, it makes it easier. But I also have tunes with other artists from Manchester that are on this platform now. And as long as I've spoke to that artist, and they have to also give me power of attorney to operate within and say that I own the music, and it's my duty to pay them every year.
You get paid.
Yeah, so, but just own the music. It doesn't mean that you can't upload stuff that doesn't have features on. Just make sure that I think even as a musician, it's good business to be transparent with the people that you're working with. Because there will come a time where something does really, really well. And if you've already articulated everything you want to say to people, then more time everyone's winning. No one's left in the dark. No one's. So I think just articulate what you're doing, be open and honest, and make sure you own the music that you're actually uploading.
Okay. So basically, like, if you're still downloading beats of YouTube that over 1 million artists are using, you can't, because you've not got the right, unless you bought the exclusive of the producer. You can't upload that music onto this platform.
Of course,
because obviously that means effectively you've not got the rights to the song. In summary, okay. So takeaway so far is own the music first. So you got all your paperwork for the music. Make sure the music is recorded and mixed, mastered, like in the best quality version. So you kind of putting like the best foot forward, then uploading it to the platform. Ready for this creatives to use the music, and then do you get notified when it gets used, or do you have to log into the platform to kind of see what's going on, or do you just sort of see a spike in your Spotify listenership and then you go, actually, what's going on here?
So this is probably the saddest bit about it, but it's also there's swings and roundabouts to it, because, for example, let's just say last year the Wave got just shy of 8,000 downloads on the platform. So that means 8,000 intentions to use it. They could have used it on more videos.
Oh, wow.
But I don't know where that is. So luckily people like the tune, and they will if your tune's getting used. People music listeners love to come and tell you where they, especially in today's society, they love to tell you where they heard the song. So if you go to my video, The Wave, all the comments are like, I heard this in on this Polish advert, or I heard this
Yeah.
in
Oh
such
wow.
and such. But there is websites like Track, which is like TRQK.io,
Okay.
and that will tell you if you've had syncs on things like TV.
Okay.
So I was getting used on this French Open advert, and because that was on actual TV, I got a notification to say that had been used. But more time, I don't.
You don't
You
get
don't.
notified.
No, but it's a blessing and a curse because like, I was watching the Sidemen video. I watch Sidemen every weekend. Every weekend I watch Sidemen, and I'm watching it. And then my song comes on. So obviously you pause the video because you're like, why is my song playing at the same time as the video? And then you pause the video and your song pauses.
Yeah.
And then you realize my song is on
getting
this
used
video.
by the-
Like, and then you're
mad.
like, yo. So that feeling, like my brother rang me, bro, Ferrari have used the song. You don't understand how big this is. And I'm like, I do understand how big it is, but it's that feeling of when you hear your song somewhere, it's almost nice that you didn't know it was getting used because you're still getting paid for it.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
as long as you note down where it has been used, then it's a win-win really.
So if you're signed up to like 25 different platforms and
Yeah.
your music is everywhere, how do you know which one to log in to sort
To
of find
see
out
where.
what's
Yeah,
going on?
that's a-
So basically, if you are going to sign up to any of these websites, maybe like limit it to like maybe 2 websites, so you're not having to like remember 25 logins.
Yeah.
To because I'm guessing like those platforms are the ones that pay you, or how do
Yeah,
you
they
get
pay.
paid?
Yeah. So it's a weird one because it's like you want to maximize your revenue and your exposure.
Yeah.
But also like I've got quite a good relationship with Artlist now.
Yeah.
To the point where they've asked me to be like one of
Exclusive.
and obviously at the time that just didn't work out for me for what I wanted to do. But they've asked me to do stuff. They asked me to be a voiceover. So now they do voiceover stuff, and they're like, do you want to be the AI voice? Again, it didn't really work out with what I wanted to do, but it's having that relationship. I can speak to the A&R about this now and be
Yeah.
like, yo, such and such and such. And I've spoke to the A&R before, and I feel like it's a bit easier to get my songs on now. So even though I'm an artist on there, I've still had tunes turned down.
Yeah,
I thought
yeah.
they'd just accept everything I've got. Like ones that you're like, yo, this is gonna be a banger. Like everyone's gonna love this, and they're like, nah, we don't
this ain't
like
for
this.
us. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
again, maximize your exposure, but like you say, that there is a lot of admin and back end to this. So if you're good at admin, maybe maximize it and do these 25. But it's also nice to establish a relationship with
the
a
actual
couple.
platform. Yeah, okay. And then like so obviously like so once it gets synced, I'm trying to like think of the process,
Yeah, yeah.
right? So you put the music up, it gets used, the platform, the distribution or whatever site you've used to upload, they obviously pay you.
Yeah.
And then people love the music so much they go and stream it. Then you get paid.
Yeah.
You get paid off that as well. So this is that monetizing your music like in 2 different ways.
Yeah. It's like free advertising that you're getting paid for.
You're getting paid for. Yeah. And obviously the good part of the music getting streamed then is like obviously you've got more followers and maybe that can turn to maybe doing shows.
Yeah.
For example, because obviously people do cry a lot about what Spotify pays people are not great. I mean, I've got my own personal views, on that. What's your with that we're deviating now, but it's still kind of like
Of
in
course,
line
yeah.
with like music businesses because obviously people talk about it and people want to
Yeah.
know this thing. So what's your view on like the old Spotify, the payment system and everything? What's your take on that?
It's hard for me because I think I don't know. I kind of my life. It's even like my mom's motto. It is what it is. Do you get what I mean? So I can either sit here and say I'm not going to upload my tunes to Spotify and then lose money, or I can try and rally against it and still have no money. But at the same time, it's like, is it fair? No, it's definitely not fair. Like from time, because I'm a producer as well. So from time Timbaland could make 500k off a beat 20 years ago,
Crazy.
and now people want beats off me and they don't want to pay.
Yeah.
Because do you know what I mean? And then it's going to go on Spotify and it might never make any money. And but that's not the only, like we're in a society now where there's so many avenues you can make money, i.e. sync, which is why I stressed it that day. But also just do more shows. But then again, it's the bit, we're getting into it now, but like venues are closing down.
Yes,
So
yes,
where am I
yes.
going to go and do shows?
Yes.
But we're very much in an era of the music industry is changing. So change with it. And also it's about community, man. Let's say we're in Manchester. How many people came to AG the other day? If all of those people just just pay to be at each other's shows. There's money everywhere.
Yeah.
And obviously out of my pocket to in his pocket, but you build a bigger community. Look at like La Russell. Do you know La Russell from America?
Yes,
Bro,
yes, yes, yes.
he's not playing the game the way people are playing it. While people are moaning about Spotify, he's like, I'm uneven and I'm making this much money
Yeah.
every single month. So
But I guess it's investing in building that community of
yeah,
people that
that's
love him, and then they're willing to kind of
of course.
follow kind of. So I guess it's a case of being able to sacrifice and like the 5, 10, or however long it takes to build that community where you can then go anywhere and
Yeah.
sell your music to them, or use the platform to get exposure. Because I guess once you're kind of like known, and because I'd imagine like I use Apple Music more than Spotify,
Yeah.
right? But I can't discover new artists on Apple Music.
same
I have
way.
to go in, type an artist I actually want to listen to, and listen to their music. Whereas Spotify, I can just put a random playlist on, and once that playlist is done, it will automatically just give me similar artists.
Yeah, yeah.
So I may not know who you are before, but because I'm listening to A, B, and C, all of a sudden I like your music, I add you into my playlist, and then I've discovered you then. You know,
Exactly.
so 1,000 people do that, 5,000 people do that, 10,000 people do that. That's more people that wouldn't have discovered your music if you've
Yeah.
had it on your own, your own streaming platform or something like that. So there are
Exactly.
benefits
Yeah.
and negatives to it, you understand? But like you're right, like it is what it is, which is sad. But
Of course. Yeah,
you
it
know,
depends
like-
how you look at it, innit? Because you made a good point there, which is if you're looking at it as a source of income, then you're always going to be unhappy. Do you get what I mean? But again, it's like if you're looking at it as, yo, I pay £20 a year, so I use Ditto, let's say. So I pay £20 a year to upload unlimited music to this platform that you might discover it because you listen to A, B, and C. And it's £20 a year. Yeah, there's a lot of resources that go into making music, but if that platform didn't exist, I'd still be spending the money that
yeah,
I don't spend a lot of money because I do a lot of it myself.
Yeah,
But let's
yeah.
say somebody who is, and I just look at it as it's exposure for me. Come to my shows, I worry about the money later,
Yeah.
and I'm doing sync, and I make money from sync, and it feeds back into it, so I make a
Yeah.
bit more money. And you have to, while it's changing, you just have to take from loads of different places instead of just relying on uploading
source,
the tune
yeah.
there to get that from there because it's
Yeah.
not going to work in today's society.
No, amazing. No, thank you so much. Obviously we touched about sync. We touched about like the Spotify angle, which is a bit,
Yeah, yeah.
of a tangent or whatnot. But yeah, I think like people do want to know this information, and I think that what's important that you touched on also was like having different versions of the music,
Yeah.
So maybe like for artists when they go to studio, don't just pay. And somebody else touched on this on the radio the other week. Actually, they go, people will pay £30 for an hour studio, and they want to try and record 25 songs in 1 hour. Yeah,
Bro, it's the most infuriating thing ever. I mix for some people and they're like, so I've got someone coming around and you book for 2 hours and you want to do 2 tunes. We can do it.
Yeah,
But
but
don't
it's
don't come back to me next week and say my voice didn't sound good when I
Yeah.
did this. And it's like, well, bro, you tried to do it in one take.
I mean, like, so if they 2 hours for 2 songs, that's even nice for some people. Some people want one. Like they'll bring 25 people to the studio, pay for 2 hours, and everyone wants to jump on a tune.
Facts.
So it's like it's a bit. So basically, you got to be take your music seriously. I think it was Laboons that actually touched on that on the
Okay.
radio the other day.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
like, when you go studio, actually like do the work before you go in. Like, okay,
course.
no, listen to your beat, know what you're saying, know what you're recording. Don't try and squeeze in like 5 songs in
That's
1
great
hour
advice.
session. You understand? So, and off the back of that is get different versions of your tune.
Yeah.
If you're there for 2 hours, 3 hours, get like like you said, the radio version, the like your PA version,
Yeah, yeah.
your instrumentals. So all of those things saves you, basically shows that you're thinking business wise
Yeah, man.
of your music. And I think for a long time when we used to ask people to send music into us as well, people would just send you their music on Instagram and be like, oh, here's my music, play on the radio.
Can you just take it from here?
Yeah, and I'm thinking like, yo, like how do you even respond to that kind of a message? You understand? So basically, if you're sending music to radio or whatever, like similar thing, just get a radio version,
Yeah.
get your PA version, get all of that ready. So that way, the song might blow up, and maybe wherever you record the music before, the engineer might have lost their computer or
course,
iDrive
yeah.
crashed, and then you're like, oh. where do I
I
get this
need
beat
this, I
from?
need that.
Do you get
Yeah,
it?
man.
But if you've already like taken your original stuff from the like the stems for your tune,
Yeah.
the stems from the session, you've got it there.
Yeah.
So anywhere you go to 5, 10 years from now, you've got that saved up
Yeah.
somewhere.
And
You
most
can
most people will like, for example, where I've been working with Sonus recently.
shout out
Yeah,
Sonus.
man, Sonus is a good guy, man, and he's efficient, really
Yeah.
efficient. So I can do stuff myself, but if I send it to Sonus, I know it's gonna get done. I know he's gonna give me all of my deliverables without me really even asking. A PA version, all of these, he's gonna give me the
Yeah.
instrumental without me even asking. And sometimes you might have to ask a different engineer for that, but that
Yeah.
is always there, and you should just ask them. If they
Yeah.
haven't said I'm going to give you them, ask them. They might even charge you £10 or £20
Extra for
to
it,
make
yeah.
each different version, but it's worth it, man. And this is a different topic in itself. 2025, people start performing over their full tunes.
Yeah,
But
amen.
have a PA version.
Yeah, I pray so.
Do you get what I
I
mean?
pray so. Imagine trying like fighting yourself on your own tune.
Yeah, man. So yeah, ask for PA versions and
Yeah,
instrumentals.
yeah.
But yeah, aside from that, I think I've touched on non-exclusive. There
Yes.
is an exclusive avenue. So recently, I've been working with a company called
Okay.
Hive Music and Position Music,
Right.
making my own project with them
Right.
specifically for sync. So this is
Okay.
completely exclusive. You get an advance. There's a lot more
Nice.
money in it.
Okay.
There's it's like the next level, I would say, and this is kind of uncharted territory for me,
Yeah.
but it's been good so far. It's got high possibilities, and
Yes,
I think
yes.
that's the next step for people. If you've exhausted this avenue of, I mean, it's always going to pay you the non-exclusive,
yeah,
but
yeah.
the difference between the two in terms of how much value you can actually take from it, going exclusive with maybe a company like Centric or Hive
Yeah.
Music or Position Music, you can make, there's a lot more money to be
Yeah,
made
yeah.
there if you'd land like a Spider-Man advert. Do you get what I
Right,
mean?
getting
Just
paid
that's
racks,
it,
yeah,
man. Do
yeah.
you get what I mean? Or, and then aside from that, you've got music supervisors. So I've been following music supervisors on LinkedIn,
Right.
and kind of seeing, so you watch like a program, when the credits come on, it'll say who the music supervisor is.
Right, okay.
So you have a look on there, follow them on LinkedIn, just see what kind of, they might have a call out for tunes. Just follow them, let them know, you keep your LinkedIn calm, message them when you feel like the time is right. Don't be too pushy, don't be too beggy and whatever, and just tell them like, I think this song would suit I saw what you did on Love Island. I think this song would suit Love Island season 2 or whatever. And that's a hard route, but all it takes is one. Do you get what I mean? JK, he got his tune on Power.
Yes, yeah, I remember that. It was so gassed.
Yeah, do you know what I mean?
That's like a couple like 4 or 5 years ago or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the lady found it just through listening on Spotify, so a grime thing, and she just heard it, and she was like, "Who's this artist? I need to get him." Emailed him, got it. He made big money, good money from that, and like that kind of stuff can change your life, man.
Yeah.
So there is more than just one avenue. Obviously, there's loads we could touch on.
Yeah.
But I think that's some of
Those
the
are the
knowledge
steps.
supersedes me. So
Yeah. No, that's good. So obviously, artists, have your email in your bio or in your Spotify. Actually check your emails
Yeah, yeah.
and respond to your email. Because imagine he didn't check his email.
Of course.
Like, I would have missed that opportunity,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
he would have been crying 5 years later. Go, oh God, I saw that email from 2 years ago, and I didn't respond
Of
to
course.
it. So so just to go back,
Yeah.
so obviously you said like you can go down the non-exclusive route. I
Yeah.
guess that could be like if you're starting out, that's a good way to kind of like test the field.
Yeah.
And I guess of the success of you doing that, maybe then you can kind of go through the exclusive route. And I guess the exclusive is more, it's like you being more intentional. So you're creating your music specific rather than like making the music and just out 50-50, let's see what happens. This is you kind of like being a bit more business minded.
Yeah,
Cool,
yeah.
I'm gonna make music to get placed on adverts, get placed and you're working towards like to a brief. I'm guessing is that
course.
the
Yeah,
way
you
it
work
works?
to a
Like they
brief,
give you
yeah.
like a brief, or one summaries, sunny tune,
Yeah.
kind of vibe,
Yeah.
and then you just basically you go and you create that
Based
music
on that brief,
basically.
yeah.
It's also worth saying like you, even if you're not a producer, you could be like the vocalist, but have a producer friend, and you can work as like a collective.
Yeah. So
you
with
know.
these guys that I'm working with now, I haven't produced a single one of these songs. So they've just got like their top producers. They're making some sick tunes. They say, listen, we think you'd be good on this one. Can you do this? I kind of get free reign about what I want to say.
Yeah.
It's just obviously after the first revision, they're like, okay, because it's a different world to just making songs. Now you have to think about the fact that editors are going to be editing to this. People want stuff to be a bit choppier. Like
Yeah.
maybe don't make this like that, and this might need to be catchier. Take out
Yeah.
some words here. So it's been a learning curve because
Yeah.
I make music how and when I want.
Based on your vibes and feelings,
Yeah.
yeah. Not so you can't go be like run a man down.
Yeah, well, yeah. If they
Defense.
answer that, then yeah. But at the same time, it's like, yeah, it's a different field, and it's cool to be in. But it's definitely intentional music,
Yeah,
I'd say.
yeah, yeah. So keyword is intentional, basically. I mean, we can be here all day
Yeah,
talking
man.
about this, but I really enjoyed the chat. So obviously with your own music, like what's like the next what's coming up?
Yeah,
What's
I'm,
coming up
I'm
next
glad you
year?
asked, man. Thank you.
Yeah.
So I've got a new song out on the 14th of February.
Okay.
Obviously, that's Valentine's Day. It's got nothing to do with
Come
Valentine's
on,
Day.
get out them tune.
But it's called I Got Nothing Left. I've just been making some content about it recently. So
Okay.
if you see my Instagram, we've got some new cameras in the team,
Lovely.
and I'm editing some new videos and trying some new stuff out. So I Got Nothing Left. I'm gonna drop a pre-save link next week in my bio, so you can pre-save it there. And then I've got another project coming up, which is like a crowdsourcing project. I won't speak on it yet till I've done the
Okay.
intro video, but I need the community to get behind me for that
Yeah.
project. So
Okay.
yeah,
And I think you touched on you've got like an event as well, that you say you're performing at or something recently.
oh yeah, I got a whole tour with Wonder coming up. I
All
completely
right.
forgot.
Yeah,
Yeah,
go on, plug it,
yeah,
plug it,
yeah. I
plug
got
it,
a whole
plug it.
tour with Wonder, so it's Wonder's Formula Wonder tour, based coming off the back of a album that's just dropped, debut
Right.
album, and it's a whole UK tour. So we're from where everywhere, Newcastle to Dublin to
Nice.
yeah, and then we got South by Southwest in Texas in
Nice.
March.
Oh,
So it's
wow.
gonna be this is
Congratulations.
2025. Thank
So
you.
more chance to spread the music and
Yeah,
get
man.
get new fans and stuff like that. All right, cool. Now, thank you very much for
No,
coming out
thank you.
today. Just one more time, just plug your social so people kind of know where
Yeah.
to find you, please.
Yeah, so Instagram it's official_superlative, and then everywhere else it's just Superlative UK. Superlative UK.
Okay, dope. Thank you very much for watching, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe. It's my first time doing this. But yeah, sounds really, yeah. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe. Yeah, thank you for watching. Thanks for coming
There you
in.
go, man. Thank you.
Blessings.
Thank you.
Nice one.